let's see what happened.
Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to the second part of Arcadia, guys. So we already read this part, so we can skip ahead. So so me and Eris have a rough history, but I do really need to bother myself with that. Maybe now it's time to let bygones be bygones. This is supposed to be the start of a new chapter, or something like that. God, that sounds pretentious. I don't know. It's hard to forget a rivalry like that. If a rivalry is what we had, shit like this is hard to define in the real world. It's tough sometimes, guys, having a rival. Eris never did anything like that I could really call offensive to me, but we were just so different in the way we work that any kind of cooperation with her seemed impossible. Some people are impossible sometimes, dude. For the sake of this job, is it time to put some actual effort in? I'm done at AR Tech, so having a coworker with different views doesn't mean they're out to destroy my work, right? After a few hours, I hear Eris make her way into work, but thankfully managed to avoid a conversation by making sure I'm working on the opposite side of the room. As I'm replacing the last burnt out tea light, my phone vibrates. A message from Parker. Meeting in 10. See me at the bar. Delivered by AR Tech. You'd think messages delivered straight from his brain would have more personality. I spent another few minutes straightening the already straightened tables before feeling like I might be pushing it and head to the bar. As I approach, I see no sign of Parker, but Eris is there already. I steel myself and walk right into the waiting jaws of the abyss. Roman? Eris? I see what Parker meant about the atmosphere between us. I really can't avoid how tense this is. A few seconds of silence are all the excuse I need. I head behind the bar and grab a low ball glass and a bottle. Oh boy. As I pour myself more than a dram of pleasant looking Islay 20, 12 year, Eris clicks her tongue like an angry chicken, like, or that's a turkey. Isn't it a little early for that? Sun's over the yard arm. What does that mean? What? You don't know what a yard arm is? And before having to reveal that I don't know either, I move on. You have any idea what Parker wants to talk to us about? Nope. I raise my glass and take a nose, then I sip. It's not bad, rich and quite smoky. Careful now, you don't want to break Parker's second rule here. She's picking a fight, but I don't really have anything to say to Eris. My thoughts return as they have throughout the whole afternoon to what Parker said to me earlier, but the thoughts are most cynical and meaningless. Is this going to be a problem for me working here? I look up from my glass in shock, but before I can reply, Parker emerges from the back office. He glances at the whiskey in my hand next to me and gives me a slight disapproving look, but says nothing. Okay, monthly meeting, let's see. He pulls out a small ring-bound pad and stubby pen. So in these meetings, I just like to take stock of things, how you are doing as a team, and listen to any concerns you have. Usually I involve the whole staff, but I'm going to talk to the rest of them later. There's something I wanted to pick your brains about specific, like, okay, with your mutual background in AR Tech, thank you for sharing that with me. By the way, whether or not it was deliberate, well, I could use your advice. Wow, look at that, Roman. Only a few days working here and I'm already being asked how to run the business. Her arrogance spikes my irritation. This is clearly not shared by Parker, who merely looks politely amused. What do you need our advice on, Parker? He lets out a sigh through one of the sounds so far exaggerated to be real. It's, well, to be honest with you too, I think the club could do to perform a bit better. Don't get me wrong, we're not at risk of going under any time or anything like that. I just think we have the capacity to see more people come through our doors. I'm not really sure why, and figuring out why that might be and how we can make it better, I think you might be able to help with that. There's a pause as Parker looks expectantly at us. So, any ideas? I'm not sure what to say. Eris looks curiously though, and pipes in. What does this have to do with our mutual background in AR tech? Oh, nothing really. I just figured you must both be pretty smart. One of us definitely is. I get a punch in the shoulder for my troubles, to which Parker turns a blind eye. Do you have any ideas? Any idea the numbers that you'd like to see? Says Eris. Not really. I just feel like the club isn't really keeping up with the times. So maybe a new change could do some good with the establishment. It's not a coincidence that I've recently hired on a new AR performer, such as yourself, Eris. I just like to do what I can to provide a great service for my customers. My mind is still racing over the idea that Eris is performing as a singer, but this entire conversation is beginning to bug the hell out of me. Who cares about whatever or not we're keeping up with the times? We play jazz and serve decent booze. What needs to change? Parker opens his mouth to speak, but doesn't get a chance to before Eris cuts in. You can't expect people to keep coming back for the same old stuff every day. People like different things, and something new and exciting might be exactly what this place needs. Of course, like always, she would direct attention to herself. Well, there's definitely not going to keep coming back if this place, a jazz club, stops playing jazz. Before you two keep going on, I really just need a definitive and solid idea to work from. Is that something you could potentially work together on? Not necessarily. All I need to do is simply up my performance quality. How? For my last performance, I didn't engage the audience enough. I could definitely stand to have some more excitement to it. People don't come here to be shouted at from the stage. They want to sit back and enjoy some jazz and a drink. I'm not going to shout at them. I just want them to know I know they exist. Well, I think they just need to be able to appreciate the atmosphere a little more and enjoy the place itself. We should put something on. Like what? Music? No, I don't know. I look around for inspiration. I don't know what this place needs exactly, but it's lacking something. It needs a bit of my wandering eye lands on the glass in my hand. I turn to Parker, who is now eyeing the same glass in my hand with suspicion. Okay, I know what we need to do. I think I have a plan to make this place exactly what a jazz club should be. Oh yeah? And what would that be? I don't have the details just yet, but trust me, it's just what this place needs. Do you really expect us to go along with this plan of yours when you don't even know what the plan is? I do know the plan is what the plan is, or I know what it involves, I think. Look, Parker, I can sort it all out tomorrow night. I might just need a hand bringing a few things in. What do you say? I don't know what I'm saying yes or no to, Roman. That doesn't exactly fill me with confidence. Wait a minute. Is my idea just completely off the table for this imaginary idea? Then, of course not. Roman just interrupting him, I let out a string of words flying out of my mouth without processing exactly what they mean. But Eris is once again a threat that I need to dispatch. We'll have a competition. There is a moment of silence, immediately broken by Eris laughing harshly. A competition? Are you serious? Yes, I'm serious. I come close to saying, are you scared? Are you scared to lose before realizing I'm not 12? Oh, I legitimately thought that was a joke. Ignoring her, I turned again to Parker. What do you think? He looks thoughtfully for a moment. Funnily enough, that's pretty close to what I wanted to talk about next. I was thinking of starting an employee of the month sort of thing. You know, give you all a bit of motivation. Perhaps this competition of yours could play into that. Eris' expression says quite clearly, you've got to be kidding me. Is that their phrase right there? This mirrors my thought on the subject, but I instead decided to look politely interested. There will be a small cash bonus. Yes, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Eris nods half-heartedly. I could get on board with that. So how is this going to work? How is it judged? Don't worry yourself about that. I'll take my survey from the patrons or something. I just want you to tomorrow night to do whatever it is that you have planned. You, Eris, with your audience engagement, and you, Roman, with your what a jazz club should be thing, whatever it is. Tomorrow night? Well, no, not both of you at once. Perhaps Roman should give his idea a go first. No problem. Oh my god, Roman. Annoyed with my cockiness, she crosses her arms, looking at me with murder in her eyes. The death stare, dude. Roman, you're gonna get murdered by Eris. Fine, okay. Parker, I'll go for it the day after. Excellent, glad to hear it. He looks between us both, smiling but clearly sensing the tension in the air. Well, that's kills two birds with one stone. I'll leave you to it. We open in a bit, so make sure the place is ship shape, yeah? As Eris and I stare daggers at one another, Parker once again tries to intervene. Is this going to be another problem between you two? I really can't have this become a big thing, because God help me if I've made it worse. Actually, you know what? Maybe pitting you two against one another wasn't the best idea. Why don't I just and we get a dialogue? So, I think we use Roman the first time. His thing is there's not going to be a problem, and Eris is it's fine. So we'll use Eris' no, it's fine. ... Another awkward pause. Maybe this is exactly what we need. Parker looks skeptical, his eyes darting once again between Eris and I, but eventually he sighs. Like this? Fine. I have a feeling I'm going to regret this, but fine. You two, go ahead. He heads back into the office, and I hear the door close behind him. Neither of us watching him go. We're stuck staring at one another like two cats unsure of who's going to pounce first. There's an A there. Okay. Unexpectedly, Eris lets out a laugh. This is kind of silly, isn't it? What do you mean? All this because of some old rivalry. What? It's nothing to do with that. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You wouldn't get off my case. You wouldn't get off mine. Christ, Roman. Now agitated, Eris slips a hand inside her pocket and pulls out a sleek black e-cigarette. You know you can't do that indoors. and you're not allowed to drink. At least I'm not breaking one of Parker's rules. Eris inhales the smoke, and I frustratedly gulp down whiskey that's to become warmer from the heat of a tense grip. After her long inhale, she produces a thick white cloud from her nose and mouth. Oddly, it doesn't smell sickly sweet like an e-cigarette vapor usually does. Is that tobacco flavor? Do they really still make these e-cigs? Those for e-cigs? You aren't the only one who can appreciate the past. But there is a such thing as taking it too far. She takes another puff. What exactly are you planning for tomorrow? Really? I have it worked out. I'm trying to convince myself as much as her. What about you? I don't know. This is my very first night with performing, but already the crowd is getting to me. What do you mean? They're a pretty chill bunch, totally harmless. Well, yeah, that's the problem. They're floating in here, barely taking any of it in. They sat in their chairs and looked vaguely in the direction of the stage, eyes glazed over, poisoned themselves for a few hours, and then left. I just wanted some of them to give a shit about what I'm doing up there, because I give a shit. You know what it's like to put your heart and soul into a performance only to have it met with passive interest? What about when you hear the loudest applause coming from the staff, the people paid to be here? I've certainly never had anyone applaud me before. That's right, you wouldn't. You didn't even catch the performance, did you? Experiencing that kind of feeling it's horrible. And I don't know if it's something I'm doing wrong or what, but I've got to find a way to change it. What? I'm not sure that was the best moment to laugh. Not that it was exactly by choice. So is that really all we are? Two people just out for each other to give a shit? Eris gives me a hard look. No, Roman, we aren't even close to being the same. And takes another long drag. I don't know what why I'm doing this, but listen. Fuck Parker's employee of the month thing. Who cares? Let's make this wager more exciting for the two of us. What are the stakes? Okay, you know how you're constantly going on about wanting to get out of the city and start fresh, all that jazz? I can't deny that. If you win, if Parker gives you employee of the month instead of me, I'll pay for you to get out. We'll go halves on it. Whatever you need. Okay, that's incredibly generous. I assume there's a catch. You wouldn't just give me that kind of money. Naturally. If I win, she puffs her e-cig. The thick mist floats ominously between us. Dun 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 dun. You have to go back to AR Tech. You have to reapply. I know they'll take you back. Why? Why the hell would I do that? Because you're wasting in this place. I just want you to go back to doing what you were good at doing. I mean, you were brilliant. Why did you decide to work at this dump anyway? She gives me a good few seconds to produce an answer, but one is not forthcoming. My mind is racing in all kinds of directions. Is this why you applied? Give up. I don't know what's going on with you, but when you can't justify it to yourself, you have a problem. You know how much we achieved at that place. Greenway was a huge step for our team. We have done so much already. Why would you want to let go of that? Greenway. You want to bring up Greenway now? Yeah, so what? Does she not feel about it the way I do? I can't even fathom how I could look back on it like that. Well, sure, you don't need to look back on it, just there's no need to completely throw it away either. Do you even care about what we did for AR tech? I mean, your work on neurons and sound encoding, you can't just forget that part of your life. I look at her, lost for words. After a while, she takes longer drags, inhaling not quite in my direction, but close enough that I can feel her face full of vapor. Enjoy your drink, Roman. Pulling the car back into the alleyway behind Arcadia feels like sinking through molasses into another world. One moment you can hear yourself thinking over the honks and the blares and the shouting and all that hustle and bustle of the streets outside. Then you drive back for 10 more seconds before you can really mind it. All that noise just fades out into a world you have for yourself. Alright guys, I'm gonna cut it here. Hope you've enjoyed this second episode. If you want to see more, let me know. Leave a comment below and don't forget to share it with your friends, guys. Have a great day. I will see you next time. Peace.